Hey, this is Luke with Salt Strong. In this video, you're going to see how to know what type of fish are tearing up your soft plastic so you can move or make changes when needed. And this can save a lot of money over time. For many years, I would have tails bitten off like this, and I didn't know exactly what the cause was, and so I would assume it wouldn't happen again, and then it would happen over and over and over again. And before I knew it, I'd go through an entire pack of baits and just think that I had bad luck or that it was sea trout or something good tearing it up, when in reality it was a junk fish that will continue to just chew up soft plastics even like in one cast. They are my least favorite fish of all. They have cost me a ton of money over the years. And if you haven't yet figured it out, it is pufferfish. So the core thing to think about when looking, when you get a soft plastic that gets torn up, to know if it's a puffer fish, the easiest way is to see if it's just a clean cut like this, especially with, this is a Z-Man material bait. Puffers are like the only thing that can cut plastic really good like that. And they generally have a bit of a shape like this where it's a concave shape. In many cases, sometimes they'll bite right behind the hook. They're amazingly good at not getting hooked and just biting through the soft plastic. You can see here, it just made a one little chop and almost separated it. It just barely holding by a strand. And there's the shape of his mouth, right? You can see that little curve shape. That's his mouth just going up there and just taking a chunk out of it. And then finally it did succeed here on its next try. So just know that when you see this, when you have your soft plastics coming up like this, there's pufferfish in the area, and more than likely it's gonna happen again. And so if you keep throwing soft plastics, you're just going to get another one torn up and another one torn up, and it'll keep happening. So what I do in that case is I'll either move spots, but typically if I know there's redfish, sea trout, snook, flounder, whatever I'm targeting, if I know those are in the area, I'll just switch over to a hard bait, like a spoon or a hard plastic twitch bait. They're all subsurface, and I can still fish the same water depth, but I now can do it in a way that doesn't get ruined by those pesky puffer fish. But conversely, right, if I'm using a soft plastic and like just the tail gets bitten off and that's it, in many cases that's going to be other fish like pinfish or mangrove snapper that just happen to grab the tail and just pull enough and hit it enough times where it'll eventually wear through. So if it's just the tail missing, in many cases those are just pinfish. And those won't happen nearly as often. Yes, it happens some, but it's rare that pinfish will get it like in one cast. So if it's just the tail missing, then I'll just put another one on and keep going, knowing that it won't happen very often. But if I see this shape and more than just the tail is missing, that is almost always going to be pufferfish, and that's when I make a change quickly, knowing that if I keep doing the same thing, it's just going to continually just rip up my gear. So anyhow, I just wanted to make a quick video of that. We've had questions come in on hey, I think a trout just bit my lure in half. And in most cases, that's not the case. Trout will usually come up and suck the bait down, and it's rare that they just grab and tear. So just know that when you come up with half a bait, in many cases it's pufferfish, and then in many cases it's time to make a change, either in spots or in your lures, to make sure that you can maximize the amount of fish you catch on your soft plastics. Well, that's it for now. Leave a question down below if you have any. Otherwise, hope you can get out of the water soon and catch some big ones.
There's something about the water that'll give you peace, all by yourself or with your family. Live salt strong and wear the line today.